Welcome back students to online class. I am Parth Davda and this video is for class 8 science. Today we are going to learn about a microorganism, one of the tiny little monsters as well as helpers, and why are they present, how are they present, in which types are they. So that's what we are going to learn today in this session 1. So let's get started. Now microorganisms are present everywhere. As you might have heard about corona in the recent times, they are spreading from place to place and person to person. So they are present everywhere, but we are not able to really see it since they are very, very small. Hence their name is microorganism. Now they are present in air, water, soil, on our hands, on our skin, everywhere. And hence it is important for us to understand them and to know what are their benefits and what are their demerits to have them. So microorganisms are also referred as microbes, and they are extremely small to be seen with our naked eyes. Hence we need a microscope. Microorganisms may be unicellular, that means only one cell is performing all the functions, or they may be multicellular, that means multiple cell is present inside one organism. They may exist alone, which obviously we will not be able to see, and they may also exist in colonies. Now here you can observe the greenish spots as well as some fungus grown on the bread. So well, this is nothing but the fungus, and this is an example of that they are existing in colonies. So there are total basically 5 types of microorganisms, out of which very first one is bacteria. We have understood till now through our experiences that bacteria means something negative. Well, it is not so. Bacteria can also be very helpful in our day-to-day lives, like making of the curd, bread, and so on. So we will be looking at that interesting part after a while. Then second one is protozoa, fungi, algae, which is widely used in the cosmetic products and the skin care, and virus. Now virus is a very special type of microorganisms which we are going to learn today. So let's get going with the next part. Now as you can observe, there are 2 figures of bacteria, and they are the different shapes which are present in bacteria. One is the spiral bacteria, the other one is the rod shaped bacteria. As we have discussed, bacteria may not be always harmful for us, they may be good for us as well. Next is algae. These are the 2 types of algae as you can observe on the screen. The very first one is referred as Chlamydomonas. Now Chlamydomonas might be hard to pronounce at the first place, but you will get used to it. And the second one is Spirogyra or Spirogyra. These are the 2 types of algae which is widely seen, and that's how it will be looking under a microscope. Algae is also performing photosynthesis process at a microscopic level, and hence during the rainy season you may have seen some green spots near some buildings or some puddle of water. Well, that's algae. Next one is protozoa, a most common biological unicellular organism that you have seen till now and have learnt about is amoeba. It is irregular in shape and it is a unicellular microorganism. The second one is paramecium. So these are the 2 types of protozoa which are present in our day-to-day lives, and protozoa is generally found into the dirty water around us. Next one is fungi or fungi. The singular form is fungus. Very widely used in our daily life again. There are certain antifungal infections, antifungal powders, so that we do not have fungus on any part of our body. Well, the very first one of fungi, the example of the fungi is bread mold, which is found generally on the bread, as we have seen it in the previous presentation. Penicillium, one another fungus which is widely found, and aspergillus. Well, these all the figures you're supposed to draw in your classwork once the whole chapter is over. Fungus are an inseparable part of our daily life, and they grow without the help of any kind of sunlight. So they do not perform photosynthesis. They are dependent on the others for their own food. And remember students, these all are microorganisms. So we cannot really see until and unless they are present together in the amount of thousands or lakhs. Next is virus. As we have discussed, that virus is a special type of microorganism. Why is it very special? Because they reproduce only in the body of the host organisms like bacteria, plants, animals, and even humans. Common problems, common diseases or ailments which are caused due to virus is cold, influenza, which is widely known as flu, then polio, chickenpox, and most of the coughs are also caused by virus. And you might be knowing one more type of virus these days, which is the coronavirus. So there you go. That's reproducing because it is present in the host body. I hope it's clear till now. So these are the 5 types of microorganisms present at your level. So now comes the question whether they are friends or foe, means enemies. So we'll begin with the first part and let us consider them as friends. So how exactly are they friends? Well, as you can observe, making curd from the milk, the bacterium, which is the singular form, known as Lactobacillus. So a bacteria named as Lactobacillus is present in the milk, which helps us to convert that milk into the curd. This is a daily process that we are performing, and I hope that every one of you is performing the same process every single day. The next thing is making of bread. The fungus known as yeast, you might have observed, which we are widely using to make bread and cakes. White color powder like structure is available outside in the supermarkets and etc. things. So the fungus called yeast reproduces in the flour dough and produces carbon dioxide gas during the respiration, which makes the dough soft and helps in the making of bread, cakes, biscuits, pastries, and etc. The next is commercial use of microorganism. Again, this is still we are continuing with how are they helpful to us, how are they friend to us. So, microorganisms are used for the large scale production of alcohol, wine, and acetic acid, which is vinegar. Vinegar is widely used in our daily life in terms of Chinese food as well as to make paneer. Yeast is used for the commercial production of alcohol and wine. So how are they making it? Yeast is grown on the natural sugars present in the grains like barley, wheat, rice, and crushed fruit, juices, etc. The process of conversion of sugar into alcohol is known as fermentation. And the fermentation was first discovered by Louis Pasteur, one of the prominent person in the field of biology, Louis Pasteur. So this is how we are using at a commercial level to earn and to make money out of it. Next is increasing of soil fertility. Now some bacteria and blue-green algae are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere into the soil. Fixing of nitrogen means that it is able to convert the complicated nitrogen into the simple nitrogen. And this, my students, is used for increasing its fertility. And hence these microbes are commonly called as biological nitrogen fixers. Isn't it very interesting name? Alright. The next use is the medical use. Now medical use is quite wide when we talk about microorganisms. So whenever you fall ill, the doctor may give you some antibiotic tablets, capsules or injections such as Penicillin. The source of these medicines is the microorganisms. That means that we are preparing all these tablets and injections from microorganisms. Yes, that means we are actually asking doctor to inject those microorganisms into us. But don't worry, it's not always harmful, as we discussed. So such kind of medicines are called antibiotics. Streptomycin, tetracycline and erythromycin. These are some of the commonly known antibiotics. And these medicines will be either killing or will be stopping the growth of harmful microorganisms. So this is how they are helping us in terms of the medical field. I hope it's clear till here. Alright. Precaution for antibiotics. Now, it is important to remember that antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of a qualified doctor. You cannot take it whenever, however, and from whosoever you like. You must finish the course prescribed by the doctor. If you take antibiotics when not needed or in the wrong doses, it may make the drug less effective when you actually need into the future. So if at all you find any person around you, any relatives around you who is taking the antibiotics on a regular basis, well, you need to ask them to stop. If those medicines are extremely important and for the survival benefits it is required, then definitely they need to keep on taking. Now antibiotics taken unnecessarily may kill the beneficial bacteria in the body, and hence it shouldn't be taken whenever we like. Antibiotics, however, are not effective against cold, flu and etc. things because they are caused by viruses. So antibiotics are not effective on the things that are caused due to virus. The next thing is penicillin, the very first ever antibiotic that was made. Alexander Fleming was working on a culture of disease causing bacteria. Culture of disease meaning that he was studying a group of bacteria that was causing some sort of disease. Now suddenly he found that the spores of a little green mold in one of his culture plates, and then he observed that the presence of mold prevented the growth of bacteria. and also killed many of these bacteria. And that's how he came up with the penicillin antibiotic. Next is vaccine. When a disease causing microorganism enters our body, the body produces antibodies to fight the invader. Now, the body remembers how to fight with this kind of disease causing microbes. So, if dead or weakened microorganisms are introduced in a healthy body, then what will happen? The body will start learning how to fight, and hence it will be storing the strategy to fight in form of antibodies. These antibodies remains in the body and we are protected from the disease causing microbes. And this is how a vaccine works. Several diseases including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox and hepatitis can be prevented by the process of vaccination. Now, vaccination are given to children for protection against polio under Pulse Polio program. Polio drops given to children are actually a vaccine. You might have seen some advertisements based on this. Well, this is called oral vaccination. So vaccination can be done either with the help of injections and with the help of oral way as well. Even your pets would be given some vaccination before at regular interval of time. So now the question comes that what is the difference between antibiotics and vaccine? Well, that is in front of you, as you can observe. The very first thing is which organisms are destroyed due to antibiotics and vaccination. So here is the answer. Bacteria, fungi are destroyed by antibiotics, and viruses and few other bacteria is destroyed by vaccination. How does it work? The antibiotics breaks down structure of the bacteria, causing it to die. Hence, we are killing the bacteria. Vaccination stimulates the body to develop an immune response to kill the virus in the future. So it is actually learning how to fight against any disease. Then, what is it made of? So antibiotic is made up of various components, and vaccination will be made up of dead or inactive components of a virus or bacteria. And the last difference between them, what are the side effects? Very important. Affects the good bacteria and can cause fever, nausea and diarrhea. In vaccination, very few side effects, most allergy related, and hence the doctor will always be asking you about what allergies do you have in the past, and based on that he or she will be providing you vaccination. So I hope it is crystal clear about how antibiotics are different from vaccination. Okay. The last use or the benefit of having microorganisms in our life is cleaning the environment. As you can observe, from garbage to garden. Now you often see large amount of dead organisms in the form of decaying plants, and sometimes dead animals on the ground due to some accidents or any other causes. You find that they disappear after some time. So where did they go? Well, this is because the microorganism decomposes dead organic waste of plants and animals and converting them into simple substances, and hence allowing us to keep our environment clean. So these substances are again used by other plants and animals. So microorganisms can be used to degrade the harmful and smelly substances, and thereby cleaning up. So students, that's the end of session 1. We have finished half of the chapter and the other half will be taken into the next session.